Welcome back to United TV for a weekly call-in on a Friday night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you want to get involved, there is a pinned link to come and join and have your say. If you just want to watch, you just want to post questions, please get those questions in and I'll respond to them. And there is a link there already. So if you want to come on, then please do so. If you just want to watch in the comments, that's absolutely fine. And as I said, please post some questions as well that people that come on screen can answer, and we can go through that as well. As I'm waiting for people to call in, just big thanks to United Till I Die. Thank you for supporting the channel, becoming a member today as well. Appreciate that, my friend. And if I'll go for a few of the questions before we get callers on as well. So going for this one, please also, if you can share the stream, please do so. Otherwise, people won't be able to find the stream. And if you want to have your say, then please, like I said, come on and there's everything on the table. I think a lot of the talk today might be transfer news, but no, it could be something else. Big up to Salia. Thank you for finding the channel, Salia. I did see, I think I noticed recently you'd resubscribed, so thank you for finding our channel as well. If you're able to share it, that would be massively appreciated. But no, I think long story short, we restarted on YouTube, different name, similar people, and we're going again. So in terms of this one, how much would PSG actually pay for this player is a good question. I don't know what the highest they paid for under Luis Enrique is. It seems that PSG are actually making sensible deals. I think Cavachelier was about 59 million euros from what I can remember, a really good deal. And I don't think actually Paris Saint-Germain have overpaid for any player really. So I'd imagine that Paris Saint-Germain, that they can certainly afford big transfer fees. They can certainly afford MATEUS Fernandes if they want to. There's a question like, would they pay that? I don't know. That's one that I think with Real Madrid as well. Real Madrid could definitely pay a big transfer fee, but do they want to? That's probably another question as well. So people that are tuning in that wanted a call-in show, then make sure you click the link and join. Otherwise, the call-in show will be quite short and it'll just be me talking. So now for the call-in show to be successful, please come on and please share the stream if you can. Otherwise, post questions because I'm waiting for people to come on and have their say. So this isn't about me. This is about you guys coming on, having your say. But otherwise, post some questions and we'll go through that while we're waiting for people. How are people feeling regarding the transfer window at the moment? I think MATEUS Fernandes seems to divide opinion a little bit regarding whether you think he's going to be a top target. The big story today was Real Madrid and their election and some crazy things. I think with Real Madrid, I saw like this morning. Pretty much any football player that you think is one of the best players in any team in Europe was pretty much on Real Madrid's radar. So I saw that and I thought, you've got Haaland at Man City, you've got Elise at Bayern Munich, you've got I think Vitinha and also Neves at Paris Saint-Germain. Since that story came out, everybody's been pretty much saying these players are not for sale. So I think there's a lot of hype and a lot of expectation and a lot of craziness at Real Madrid at the moment. There's election time. A lot of promises are being made. And big up to you, Mike. So even from South Africa, big up to you, my friend. Is South Africa a little bit ahead time-wise? I'm always a bit confused what time zone it is. But no, big up to you, Mike. There's a few people that regularly watch that are from South Africa as well. I hope you're having a good day. I mean, the weekend starts now. I think Man United I was expecting actually to see some sort of movement regarding this. And I think with Fernandes, hopefully we're going to see something quite quickly. It says, yeah, Real Madrid paying £150 million for an attacking player. So I saw that, and I think Elise, the Bayern Munich owner, has said quite a few times now that they would not sell any of their top players for any sort of money. So I think if Real Madrid want to get Elise, they can offer 150. To be honest, I did see a story today that said that Bayern Munich wouldn't sell him for 200 million. So I'd like to see that. If there's an offer for 200 million for Elise, I think it's I don't know, it's a lot of money to turn down. I'll say that for now. But 150 million potentially. I think West Ham is trying to create an artificial bidding war. I think so as well. I think from what I've seen is that in terms of like the Matheus Fernandes deal, in terms of like a bidding war as well, I think Matheus Fernandes wants to join Man United. I think there's interest from other clubs, but as far as I can see, the most credible journalists at the moment say that Man United have been 6 weeks talking to Matheus Fernandes and talking to the agent, and they're having sit-down meetings with West Ham. So whatever happens with this one, Manchester United are way ahead of the conversation. And I think Matheus Fernandes is happy to move to Man United. He idolizes Bruno Fernandes. There's a good Portuguese link there. So I think I do think it's going to be a likely deal. And the interest from other clubs, I think it might be coming a bit too late. I know from West Ham's point of view, they want to create a bidding war. The thing is, there is no bidding war in football these days. It comes down to the player. The bidding war, if anything, the way this deal could kind of not go right is if for some reason MATEUS Fernandes gets a significant offer from a different team. So I can see that happening. That's probably the only way that things can happen. So I think the bidding war is not between the club and the transfer fee. The bidding war might be the terms of the player. So it could be a bit of a different situation, I think, at the moment. Big up to you, Berber, as well. Do you fancy jumping on, Ryan? Because at the moment, I know Belal wanted to do a calling show, but if he doesn't turn up, we're live 7 to 8, like I said, and then it'll be a bit of a shame if people don't jump on and take advantage of the calling show. So, can I say if they behave like Brighton, they'll know the meaning of. I'd say this one. We did see the director of football. I think the director of football at Brighton got sacked, apparently. So they maybe, but I don't know if Man United actually got that close to buying Belieber. But I'd say if you put a price tag too high, then yeah, it's not ideal. So is it? So I think West Ham have got a different situation. Like West Ham actually need to get some sales done this year. So I think for West Ham, I don't know when they have to pay back some of the loans they've got, but it might be they need to try and do things a little bit quicker if they want. So wages need capping at 250 a week, otherwise they have problems getting rid of players. I think, to be honest, Daz, I think that's going to be something that is pretty much happening already. So imagine there was a story put out probably about 2 to 3 days ago. I'll be honest, it was like one of those speculative stories that was just, they were saying that MATEUS Fernandes would be on about 135k a week or something like that. So I don't know if it's going to be any sort of accuracy, but I'd imagine he's coming in, he's similar age to Tchouameni. I'd imagine that'd be that sort of contract. So in terms of this one, when you're looking at wage capping as well, there's probably there's no way you're going to cap the wage of Tchouameni because Tchouameni's already getting paid that sort of money. So when you see Tchouameni's going to get a base of like 200k at Real Madrid, 50k for bonuses, and if Real Madrid are looking to get Tchouameni on another contract, you can just imagine there's going to be an increment in that as well. So I think for Man United that if we did get Tchouameni, we'd have to break a wage structure in terms of like players coming in. You'd probably look at Tonali as well. How much could you get Tonali on? So I think with these players that, to be honest, like the players Man United are buying, they should be good enough that this isn't a factor. Hopefully, Daz. Like, if we sign players and then we're looking at how much are they worth, can we get them moved on? Then I think we've got we bought badly if that's the case. So there's not going to be any of those kind of crazy contracts at all. Yeah, so Daz, you're right. Like that's not going to happen again, is it? So like football does need like a wage structure as well. And yeah, we've seen what's happened in the past. That I think for Man United, you need to get a handle on this. And I think they've done everything they can in the last 2 years. If you look at the players leaving the club, then forget whether these players are good or not. If you look at the players leaving the club and look what salaries they're on, David De Gea, massive salaries gone. We look at Casemiro gone. We look at, say, Rashford and Sancho out the door. So these players on the big contracts are going. And it's something that Man United, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Arsenal and Liverpool have the crazy sort of situation either. So I would say that Mo Salah was on about 400k at Liverpool, but you're probably rewarding consistency in that instance. So I think for Man United, if you've got someone like Bruno Fernandes on a big contract and you've got, let's say, Mo Salah, you've got Kevin De Bruyne, these players have earned those contracts because they have to, they've got that on merit. So now, if Man United had won the Premier League, I don't think we'd be, I don't think we'd be in that sort of situation. And so even if you don't admit it, no, this is common knowledge, isn't it? Manchester United have not got midfielders at the club. So no, this is something that I think people, whether it's not about admitting it. I think people know that Man United at the moment, we have got Kobe Mainu and Agate in terms of first team football players in midfield of Manchester United. And most people look at Agate as 95% out the door. So with that in mind, we have got Edison coming in, and you look at it, say, right, Man United have got two midfielders. How many midfielders do we need? I think we need at least four as a minimum. Ideally, Man United's treble-winning team, you need probably a bit more as well. So I think that the situation at the moment is somewhat, a bit precarious. But No, this is one where we're talking about. I'll send a link, JR, if you want to jump on. So looking at this, it's only the 5th of June. Manchester United have made one signing already. We're looking at trying to close the second one, but that would be 2 midfielders signed. If Man United don't get Fernandes, then they will have other options. But again, they're probably not necessarily Manchester United's first choice options. And my kind of guess at the moment is I think there's definitely some good players out there. Is there a tiny creak of the Tchouameni door open? Like I've said this like a lot of times. I do not think Man United are going to get Tchouameni. But what happens if Real Madrid do actually make a lot of signings? Is there going to be some sort of scenario where he does exit the club? I don't know. If that did happen, it still feels incredibly unlikely, but he would be a really good player for Man United to try and get. And to be honest, I think that would actually be a bit of a bidding war. I think players like Tchouameni don't generally leave their clubs in their prime, so I'd be surprised if that happens completely. Daz says we need a proper wage structure, no paying out for crap managers on 4-year contracts. So I think this one I look at Chelsea and think, like, who signs like a 3 or 4-year contract at Chelsea as a manager and thinks they're going to see it out? Like literally nobody. So no, I think United have been doing this. If you look at the deals that they've handed out recently, then I think Carrick's got a 2-year +1. I think Dorgu came on people assumed it was like 30k or 50k, something like that, so quite low. So I think we're looking at sensible contracts in terms of that one. Do you fancy joining this, JL? It is a call-in show, so if you want to come on, then get involved. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through comments and questions people have got. But we're live for like another 45 minutes, so it would be nice if people did jump on. But again, no obligation if you want to just get in the chat. No, Carrick's deal is not long. I think with Carrick, that I don't think Manchester United need to hand out a long contract, but I think 2 years gives you like a decent amount of time. So that's for me, that's probably fair. If anyone's got any questions, like Cody, if you've got any questions, like please post them. And if you want to jump on as well, like please do so. I'm just going to message Belal and just say if he's jumping on because he did want to have a call-in show. Going through the questions, there's not many questions today. Man United fans seem to be surprisingly quiet on the question front. So, any news on De Ligt? So, De Ligt's going to have I think it's just operation. So, De Ligt's not expected to be back for. I don't think he's going to be at the start of the season. I'd be surprised if we see much for the rest of the year. So, I don't think we're going to see like regarding De Ligt, I wouldn't be expecting to see him much this actual calendar year. So, again, we'll have to see. So we got Cody backstage, just waiting for his device to connect. And we got Neil as well. So big up to you, Neil and Cody. So we'll get Neil on first because Cody's device is still connecting. How you doing, Neil?
Yeah, all right, Rich. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm quite relaxed about the window. I mean, it's early days. We got one signing done already, and maybe we can get another one done hopefully soon.
That's how I feel about it. I'd rather take our time and overpay for players. I'm exactly like you. You take your time and don't overpay for them.
Are you happy with? So yeah, the calling time is going to be we're going to be roughly like till 8 p.m. So I'll get a few people on at the same time. We can do that.
Yeah,
I would
that's right.
say
Because I got to watch the England women are playing later on. I want to watch that. So
yeah, it'd be a short one tonight, Neil. How are you feeling then about if Man United don't buy Anderson? Do you mind? Like, do you care or are you not bothered?
not bothered. I wouldn't pay what Nottingham Forest want for him anyway. Yes, he's a good player, but not over 100 million. That's too much. Because he's a good player, but we can get some cheaper bargains than that. We need 3 or 4 midfield players. We pay 120 million. That we'll only probably get 2 midfield players.
Yeah, true. When people say that we need to spend money, then I think you obviously need to spend some money. But Lamon's proved that if you scout very well, you don't have to spend a crazy amount of money.
There is some good bargains if you know where to look. You know.
Exactly. I agree.
Mayor de Letizia, he needs to get her brother to come to United.
I quite like Alex Scott, actually. I know people.
Yeah, well, she's the captain of the ladies' team, so she needs to have a word with him.
I'm going to go for a few comments, Neil. Get your opinion on this. So,
All right.
Emsky says Barada says they got a plan. Is a spin? Like, do you trust the people in charge, or are you still relaxed about it?
50-50. I didn't beginning to because they're better than what we used to have.
Yeah, that's true.
At the moment I'm on the fence. You know,
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Mike here says if we can get one of too many Anderson or Tonali, we can sign any one of our targets. I think too many is a difficult one. I mean,
I like
that's
him,
a
but I
tough
don't
one.
think he will come. I like too many. I can't see him coming himself.
I don't think he leaves Real Madrid, is my guess.
No, I
And
don't think so neither. But it's very difficult because like when you bloke someone right, how do you know they don't want to come? Well, they must have talked to players because you're not going to try to sign someone if he said to right, say no, I don't want to play for you.
yeah,
Why would you
you
do? That's
can't.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't sign someone that doesn't want to join your club. I know. I keep saying that, and
Yeah, because you get. It's not just United. The players that don't want to go to Liverpool, Arsenal, or whatever. Not just United, is there? That we lose out on players because they don't want to come. Well, the next one, I just say, if you Man United say to Anderson, "Oh, do you want to come to us?" and he says, "No, I want to go to sea." You just say, "All right, goodbye. Next target, please." Just move on. Can't mess
I think
around like we did with DeLong and never got no
yeah.
bloody where.
I was going to say that when people say Man United should sign Anderson, if Anderson wanted to join Man United, I think we would probably be hearing something about it by now. That's what I'm thinking.
But
And
will
just
he go? My argument with that, will he go to sea if they're going to get relegated with those charges? Because then they could kick him out to the championship, couldn't they? Not just not they could say right, you're going in Division One. So would he want? Would he go there then? That's right. I'm not sure he goes there really.
no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
See, I
There is a
don't think
chance he
City.
stays at Forest.
Yeah,
Maybe stays at Forest, Neil.
yeah, he might do. I don't think City will pay 120 million, 100 million for him neither.
I don't
Crazy,
think
isn't
so.
it? I love
I don't
football
think
for just kicking a bag of wind about 100 million. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll go for a couple of comments. Mickey says, "What happened to YouTube?" No, don't forget that. No, YouTube, like this, we scheduled the stream about 5 hours ago, so I don't know. But welcome to chat. I'll go for a few comments. Anderson's a 60 million pound player in Big Dog's opinion, and it says that we messed up saying he's our main target. So you could argue, you can make that argument for a lot of players, can you? And be Mr.
Yeah,
B,
because they're not going to tell you who the targets are they? And they
I don't think
shouldn't.
Man United, I don't think Man United are going to advertise who the target is because it
Well,
just
they
pushes the
shouldn't,
price up.
should they? They should keep it in house. They shouldn't say, "Oh, we want so and so and so and so," and they end up going to Arsenal or Liverpool because then you're going to look a right prat. So you keep it in house. You don't say anything.
It wouldn't be the first time we've looked at that way, though, would it?
Well, no. What but that what's that Chelsea player, wasn't it? He went to Chelsea. Yeah, he went and signed for United in the end. He went to Chelsea, didn't he? That Nigerian blood. What's it? I
Oh,
can't remember.
is that
What.
Obi Mikel?
Yeah. He
Yeah,
went to sign for now, and in the end he went to Chelsea.
Chelsea broke the rules on that one, didn't they? They got a big fine, so
Yeah, they shouldn't be
that
allowed to
was
do it.
no,
Really.
I agree. Mr. B says if you want Alex Scott, best get in quick because he reckons Ariella is going to try and bring him to Liverpool. I think
Yeah,
that might be
I reckon you
might happen.
probably end up going there yourself. I want him at United, but I don't know. Yeah, like I say, his sister will have a go and say, "Come to us."
You know, I quite like Alex Scott. I feel like I'm on YouTube. I think I'm in a bit of a minority because I think he's quite a good player, but people
Yeah,
don't really rate him.
they reckon Hackney Everton want him, don't they? So I read somewhere.
I know. Do you think okay? Do you think that Hackney to Everton is suggesting that maybe Garner leaves or something like that? I
Yeah,
don't
it
know if
could
there's
be.
something.
Oh, I don't mind James Garner back. I think he's a quality player.
I know. I'm starting to see a few things happening, and one is going to be that you can see Garner being replaced maybe, but also I think Van Hecker at Brighton, Spurs are trying to buy him, so I'm wondering whether Van der Ven's going to be leaving that club. So I think there's going to be a
Yeah,
few
it
things
could be.
starting to actually happen.
Yeah, if you read their papers, or I don't bother or look at media, most teams could have new team by now. We could have had about 20 players. We could have signed this player, we could have signed that player, we could have signed load of rubbish half the
Who do
time.
you want then, Neil? Like before I get on JR, who do you want Man United to sign? Like what's your like?
Well,
Do you have a priority, or you just
we need 3 or 4 midfield players. I'm not going to give. Well, Scott
yeah?
Hackney, I would like Fernandes, Anderson, but we're not going to get any. Probably might get 2 of those. Hall fullback. I don't know many fullback if they're Premier League, but yeah, Hall from the fullback from.
Chris
Um,
Hall,
I,
maybe. He's
yeah,
quite expensive though.
I don't want that bloke from Newcastle.
That is Lewis Hall.
No, Tonali, whatever he's bloody.
Oh,
I don't rate
Tonali.
him.
Yeah.
I don't rate him.
I think he's
Yeah,
a
it's
good
hard.
player,
We
but he's
need
quite
another.
expensive.
We do need a backup striker, but that's difficult as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
'Cause
Big Dog says he
every
likes.
player you, Rich, every player you try to sign is a risk. Whoever, even if they played in the Premier League, it's a risk. Whoever you sign, because no one knows because he played in the Premier League, or you'd be all right. Well, no, if you come from Bournemouth to the Man United, that's a big leap, isn't it? Really big leap.
Yeah, I agree. Big
You
Dog
know,
says he likes Scott more than Fernandez. What's interesting is that the more people I talk to over the last week, I've spoken to people that like Alex Scott more than Fernandez. I've heard people say that Alex Scott is um, a panic bargain buy and we should be angry as a fan base. And I've heard people say that they think Fernandez is better than
yeah, but
Anderson. So no one has the same view.
yeah, well, they wouldn't because some fans want certain players. Some fans don't like Bruno. Some do. Some fans want this player, that player. You're not going to agree, are they? It's just the way it is. Some people want this player, some don't. See, I'm chilled. But if we get Fernandes, great. If we don't, next target. He comes, he comes. He don't, he don't.
I still actually think it's gonna happen. I think that's our next deal.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm
I would
thinking.
pay 80 million for him.
No, not 80. Like not 80. I think
Most I would
that's
go to between 60 and 70. And that's it. Not 80.
yeah.
That's too high. I know
Do you know
he's
what I was
only
gonna say, Neil? Like
21.
I said like 50 to 60 a week ago. Now I'm saying like 65. I think probably West Ham are just gonna hang on until we go. Just all right, here's the 80. Let's
They
get it
want a
done.
bidding war, don't they? They want a bidding war. That's what they want.
Yeah, but not with ourselves. So I'm gonna get JR on. So I'm gonna try and do the stream quite quick tonight.
All right. You
Neil,
can, mate.
get involved. I'll try and like do one on. There will be one on Sunday as well, 7 p.m. If you want to jump on, then we'll do the same thing.
What time?
7 p.m.
Okay. All right. I'll see you later. I'll
Mario.
still be in the chat anyway. See ya.
No, big up, Neil.
Cheers.
Welcome, JR. Are you like the kit? Is that a retro one or is
I
that?
can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Oh, I can't hear you,
You know,
Rich. Let me just
Can you-
go away and come back. Just 1 sec.
Yeah, if you go back and rejoin. West Ham want a new bubble making machine. West Ham should sell a bubble making machine if they need to raise money that desperately. Oh, Daz says, when we're linked to a player, I always pitch them in the United top and make up my mind. I think on social media, you probably pretty much see that as soon as that they're linked to us, don't you? So we'll get JR on quickly. So we'll get Jeff on to give us an update on like some World Cup info. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, Rich.
How you doing, mate?
Good. So I called my friend who's working with the referees group here in the United States that's going to be working with setting up the rooms and stuff for the World Cup referees. And so basically what they're rolling out is right now you can penalize pre-kick behavior only with cards. So you tackle somebody on the ground. If the ball isn't in play, the only thing you can do is give them a yellow, right? And then you still got to take the kick from where it's at. So what's going to happen in the World Cup is they're going to be able. So if the defender tackles the player in the penalty area prior to the kick being taken, they're going to be able to award a penalty. Vice versa, if the attacking player does something to the defender, they can call a foul right there, and the kick will be coming out from the wherever it is inside the 18, and it'll be a free kick. So
Yeah,
what they want.
you expecting that to be going smoothly in the World Cup then, Jeff?
I mean, look, the things that they've put in the past, yeah, like VAR, it's gone really smoothly because these guys want to keep getting world assignments. They're going to do what they're told to do, and that's the thing, right? So they're not afraid. They're not worried about going back to their associations and being judged for it because they're going to follow what the instructors and the evaluators are telling them to do during the World Cup. And we've seen this in the past, and things have gone pretty smoothly. I mean, the first couple of times that you tackle somebody and they give you award a penalty, they're going to stop. And there are people who are calling this the anti-Arsenal law. Well, what they're telling the guys is what he's saying in this grouping is they're telling them when they go back to their associations in the fall, they want to see cards being given until the laws change next year fully. They want to see the pre ball in play indicators being done, and they think that cards are going to be able to resolve the issue until that they can get the law fully involved. So we'll see come the fall. England typically doesn't do what everybody else does. I expect in Germany, France, Italy, Spain that those guys are going to go back and they're going to start carding guys for the infractions inside the area pre ball in play. And I think England may or may not do that. We may get another season of having to watch Arsenal tackle everybody to get a goal. And then next season, when the law fully takes effect, depending on how it goes this summer, then that'll stop.
Yeah, the only good thing is I think people worked out how to play against Arsenal, and they were working that out towards the end of the season. So yeah, maybe I think a couple of comments to saying United are saying is there going to be red cards for crazy reasons? I don't know. Sometimes you see that when they bring in new laws. I remember when they brought in the professional foul rule. You get a couple of reds, and then as soon as that happens, things stop, and it's not going to. I don't think it's going to. Things will change quite quickly as well.
Actually, I think I saw more yellows for tactical fouls this year than I had seen the last 2 years. I mean, I think it became I know for a fact it was a point of emphasis again for PGMOL. They weren't given enough cards for tactical fouls. Now, have they shied away from it for second yellows? Absolutely. I mean, they don't want to be the guy supposedly, unless it's against us. They don't want to be the guy giving the second yellow for something crazy, right? So I mean, how many hair pulls did we watch the next 3 weeks after Martinez got sent off for it?
There's definitely was it Mosquera, Arsenal in the Champions League final got the first yellow for delaying the restart with the throw in. I thought he should have got a second yellow for a foul later on. He got lucky, but
the referee took the balance. He should have gotten that second yellow. That was a purely tactical foul. But the referee explained. I guess they said he explained later that he didn't feel they restarted so quickly that he didn't feel it messed with the flow of the game.
Yeah, they need to change the rules because there's always like this get out rule. Big Dog says he thinks the World Cup's going to ruin football, and he says like Americanizing it, financial gain, etc. Well, I think they had the World Cup in '94, and I don't think, and actually you could probably argue that was like actually really good football in the Premier League of that era. I don't think they can change. Yeah. They're not going to be changing the rules. It may be.
I don't know what Americanizing it means in that. I mean, they're trying to get people to stop doing something that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, if you go back and watch
he's talking about, so I read the full comment. He's talking about halftime shows, advertising, the ticket prices are extortionate, those sort of things. I don't think this is necessarily Americanizing it. The halftime show is, but I think a lot of the other stuff is like
I threw up in my mouth when I saw they were talking about a halftime show. I don't even understand where that's coming from. I don't know who's doing that. I mean, FIFA had to approve it. So
it was Ryan that Tina took a penalty from about 5 yards, missed it, and then the goal opened. It was like when I saw that, I was just thinking, wow, this is like rubbish. Actually, the '94 tournament was very good though. I enjoyed that one. So I don't know if there's a problem with that.
No, 94 is a great World Cup. I mean, look, this 3-country thing is where I'm really scratching my head because all that travel back and forth. I mean, the United States is big enough. You throw in 2 more countries, it's kind of crazy.
No, the thing that I thought was you got three different like potential temperatures as well. Like we've got, say, can we get Diana Ross back for Legends attempt? How I don't know how old Diana Ross is, but I don't know. I think they're probably gonna have something else in plan. But is it? Do you think that'll be a factor? Just serious question. Like, is there going to be some games played in ridiculous temperature, some more temperate, and is it going to be an unfair advantage for some teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the final could be 90 degrees and humid in New Jersey. And then that's an outdoor stadium, whereas I mean the teams that are playing in Texas are playing in an indoor facility. So I mean it's going to be interesting. And then in Mexico, it's going to be so hot in Mexico this time of year. It's crazy.
No, I can't remember where England is. I'll probably find out closer, but I don't think they're in a. I don't think there's been like much outrage about it, so I'm assuming they're not in like
Well,
sauna conditions or something like that.
their first match is here near to me, in Arlington. I'm 30 miles away from the stadium. I'm actually looking at tickets, but I'm just having trouble pulling the trigger at that price.
How much is it for a ticket? Because I saw someone was talking on Space. I think he was like from Canada, I believe, and he was looking at it might have been in dollars, so like $1,600 or something for
That's for the
ticket.
upper level. Where I'm
Yeah,
looking
that
at
was the cheapest one.
yeah,
That was
where I'm looking at sitting is $2,500.
bloody hell. Wow. And I think from the UK, people are looking at how much is it going to cost to fly there, like extortionate
Oh,
amount, how much is it going to cost for a hotel, extortionate
yeah,
amount.
yeah.
Real says,
I
will there
mean,
be
you had to
cheerleaders?
book. You could book. They did pre-bookings in some of the hotels I know around here, a year in advance, and it wasn't too bad then. But now, if you're coming late and you don't have a room, you're going to be staying somewhere miles and miles and miles away from the facility, and you're going to pay a lot.
Yeah, if Real said that they're going to be cheerleaders, my thought was there's probably going to be like a halftime show and there's a throw in. There's going to be an advertising break for
Well,
while
from what I
Portugal
can
walk.
tell, they're only doing halftime show at the final.
Okay, that's a good thing then, because I think people
Yeah.
were I had people getting a bit outraged about it, and I think for me it's just I just want to watch the teams play. I don't really care about the crap around it. I'd rather if there's a halftime show, the only thing is that football generally you don't want to delay it too much. This is like a sport
Well,
where you want to
that's
have
the whole thing,
extra break.
right? Are you going to roll it out? The pitches are suspect in some of these places already, like the indoor places. I mean, you're going to come out and get on the pitch. I mean, I don't see that happening. Again, halftime here is where everybody gets up and goes to the bathroom, gets their food, and comes back anyway.
Uh, Welcome Mo as well. And I think Mo lives like not that far from you. Say in terms of like
Mo lives
place.
very far from me, Rich.
Okay,
Mo
is it
lives
because the state you
Mo
live in is
lives
like
four
the same
four
state as the
hours away
country?
from me.
Same state?
Same state, 4 hours,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's not
I
even
forget. I
far.
forget you live
Four and
in
a half hours.
this crazy
And I
part of
go
the
out
state.
there. I go out to where Mo lives all the time for work.
It's 30-minute halftime for a pop concert. Yeah, maybe in the final. The thing
Yeah.
that's most annoying is the only time I ever see a halftime show is like 3 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning because I'm
At the
watching the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be quicker because I don't want the game to finish at 4 a.m. And I'm just thinking like with some of these games, they're going to be quite late already. But yeah, 30 minute halftime show. I I think to be honest, I remember from like 1994, people were making the same jokes about the '94 World Cup, and in the end, it was relatively
I
fine.
can never really tell here what is the actual time at a match in England that from the time they leave the pitch to the time they come back to the pitch.
For a halftime show, I don't know
No,
because
no, no. For a halftime show, just a standard match, like a United match.
our standard match is supposed to be about 15 minutes, isn't it? And I think with VAR, it's kind of losing track. But it used to be like if a match starts at 3 p.m. kickoff, you'd expect the second half to start about 4 p.m. But I think VAR has just pushed that back a bit now. So I
Okay.
think it used
Well,
to be
and
like you
because of
get
added time too, right? But the
yeah. So it
standard
used to
time
be.
from the time they hit the locker room to or the changing room to the time they come back is 15 minutes.
You think it's about 15. I think it's slightly shorter in Scotland. Like whatever the
Okay.
time is in England, it's slightly shorter in Scotland, so the matches finish a bit sooner than us. So
Well, I mean, 15 minutes is standard. Like even in amateur matches, that's our halftime is 15 minutes.
I've got one quick question.
Sure.
So yeah, 15 minutes. Like Big Dog's right. It's like 15 minutes generally, but that's when the game finishes. In 1994, from what I can remember, the stadiums were very good. The facilities seemed to be pretty good. Obviously, the temperature wasn't ideal, but I don't remember anything being said about the pitches. And now I've seen recent things where a lot of people are talking about it. There's a few comments and things. So I just wanted to ask you before I get JR in. Well, what do you think regarding like the pitches? Because is it worse than it? Because in 1994, were they on grass? Was it like? 'Cause as far as I could see, the pitches seemed fine, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of
There
going back
was
now.
there was only one stadium that they played in that had turf, and it was the worst facility of all of them. But yeah, the pitches that they used were all grass, and for the most part, and they were all very very good. This time around, they're doing some indoor stadiums, and I'm glad England's playing Croatia first at AT&T because I think that pitch is going to be ruined after that match.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great, does it? Is it
No.
as a football fan though, it's a bit disappointing if so the last thing I want to see the best players in the world, and if we're talking about like injuries or things, because that's what people were talking about, and a few people I know that were talking about the potential pitches and about potentially injuries, and actually there's a few people talking about a certain pitch. I can't remember which one it was, and they were saying this pitch is quite notorious for certain injuries. And I was thinking, great, that's what you want after like a long season in the Premier League and Champions League. You don't want these players playing on this sort of standard. Culture
Yeah,
Sport is right as
it's
well.
gotten
Two
it's
hours.
gotten better. The pitches that they roll out on top of the on top of the natural grass now are better, but it's still a temporary pit. It's still a temporary pitch, and it's going to have its issues. You would think that we'd be able to find enough pitches for them to play on in natural grass between the three countries, but I'm just
Yeah,
pulling my hair out.
yeah.
But I appreciate the time. I just wanted to get that point in. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this isn't a permanent law," and it isn't. I misspoke the other day, so I just wanted to clarify about the law. They're gonna be able to do they're gonna be able to penalize with actual in-game penalties pre kick without the ball being in play. They're gonna be able to do other things besides give cards.
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers.
Always great to speak to you. Thank you for that. I just say with Fatal 5 Star. Yeah, we're just discussing like how long it would be without a halftime show, and so like, generally 15 minutes, roughly like that as well. Also, big up to Switch coming from like JB's channel as well. Good to see it in the chat. We're going to bring on JR. Welcome, JR. Hopefully you can hear me this time.
I can, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you feeling?
I'm all right. I hope you're well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I think for like YouTube, I'm actually quite relaxed because I think a lot of people are getting really, what's the word? If there's one piece of news come out that's going to be Man United make an offer for this player, then everyone I know in the comments will list 10 players they prefer. And if we don't sign a player, they'll go, why aren't we signing this? I think a lot of people are getting frustrated a bit too early, but you're quite level-headed. I mean,
Yeah.
how are you feeling so far?
Well, last week we all we were hearing about how Edison signed, and then all of a sudden Edison's not signed. He's going to City, and long and behold, Edison signed, and I think it's going to be the same with Fernandes at West Ham. I think there's too many good sources saying it's happening, and then the bad sources are getting put across other channels on YouTube, and let's get all worried about this player not signing, and we don't need to worry. If anything, now I think there's a pattern in United's transfer business for the last 2 seasons, and if it doesn't happen and we do get gazumped, I'm sure they'll move on to Alex Scott or whoever their second or third choice is. So yeah, I think unfortunately.
I've got a question as well. I'll go for some of the chat in a minute. Dad says you'd swear there's a week left in the window. It does feel like that, and the transfer window is not
exactly. Yeah.
It's not actually. I just should remind people the transfer window opens on the 15th of June. It's not actually open yet. This feels a bit like people fighting in the street before the shop opens about things they haven't bought.
It's like I know. It's like last week they were all saying, "Yeah, but Edison's now going somewhere else," and it's like, well, Ornstein and everybody else, the reliable people. I'm not talking about your teamtalk.com and other stuff like that who just put anything up for clicks. All the reliable people have been saying Edison's on, it's going to happen. They're just waiting to the 1st of June. And then all of a sudden, it didn't happen on the 1st of June, but it happened on the 2nd. It's exactly the same as Cunha last season.
It's very similar pattern. I was going to say, when you look at transfers for a decent amount of time, it's like the same pattern over and over again. The only
Yeah.
thing with like Atalanta is they had some elections internally, so they replaced a sporting director who I'm guessing probably just kind of signs the deal their side and like has to approve it. So that was something they had going on. But apparently, Edison, as soon as Man United said they're interested, he said, "Right, I'm going to Man United," and there was literally nothing else apart from just working out the deal with him. And I think the same might be with Fernandes.
Well,
Obviously, I don't know,
no,
but I think
neither of us are in the know. But after I'm going to say after 10 years of looking at Twitter for this, and you just know who's good and who's
yeah.
not. And the people who are good are saying Fernandes to United's happening. He's put a transfer request in yesterday and said he only wants to go to Man United. And these are people with big reputations who are saying this online. So you just gotta say, okay, if it doesn't remain cool, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if Mr. Ornstein's saying that's the case, and when he gets more information, he'll tell us. You've got to take him at his word because he's not wrong that often. But yeah, if you listen to other noises on Twitter, you'd have thought that exactly what you said. You'd have thought, all right, we're getting gazumped by Man City. He's going there, or he's going to Real Madrid or whatever. But
I think the Italian sources actually, some of the more historical sources that you go to, the journalists that like is that Alfredo Police. There's a few couple, and there's Tuta Marcio, like that's I think Juventus linked, like newspaper outlet. Some of these sources that traditionally people would go to before kind of like Fabrizio, etc., they've been like spot on. They've been actually very accurate. And they said that Man United Edison Tonali about a month ago. And I think with Tonali stuff that maybe United have spoken to him for sure, but whether they look at doing that deal. I saw this question from Pop saying, I don't know if this is a reference to myself or other people saying we've moved on to a different choice, or maybe yourself, JR. And I think with this one that it's really difficult to say that there's not. I don't think there's necessarily like a third, like first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice. I think there's like a group of choices. They speak to them all, find out which ones are interested, then kind of like go right, cross a few off that they're not interested. And I don't know if it makes a massive difference. Like the person that's at the top of the list, maybe it's Anderson. Like, when we see these stories saying that Anderson's top priority, do you reckon that is true? Because I was thinking Man United are kind of secretive, aren't they? A lot. You don't want to put information out there. So
they're getting a lot better at that. That's what you got to say.
Yeah.
That since Ineos have come in, that is, no one gets any information other than the top guys. There's no, but so I think that all that's key to their transfer, their whole transfer targets or whatever is if people want to come, that's it. So if they come and they say, yeah, we want to go, they pursue it. If they say, no, I don't want to go, they don't. And I think maybe that's what's happened with Anderson. It's happened a couple of times last summer where we went for a couple of targets and they said they wasn't interested in coming. So they went and moved the targets to, Cunha and everything.
Do you think Anderson could stay at Forest? Like, if the rumours are true that City have gone, actually, that's a bit pricey, and Man United have said something similar. I mean, it
No,
wouldn't be the first.
I don't know why he could stay at Forest, but it won't benefit them because it'll be another year off his contract, so they won't be able to get what they can get this year. I mean, quite rightly, they know they've got a star and they're going to shoot for the moon for it, and they're going to try and get as much money as they can. And if you're any team in that position, you're going to, and it's just sometimes the arrogance of big clubs fans, like our fans, where we go, oh, hundreds, it's not our money. So if the board decide it's too much, they won't do it. And and it's be the same with City. City have got big problems coming. And if Elliot Anderson wants to be in a relegation battle with another club, that's up to him.
Yeah, that would be the dream, but I don't know. Mickey says Sesko was fifth choice. I'm trying to think who was like choice actually. I remember talking about Ekatike, and I did a stream about Ekatike.
That's who it was, and that's who it was who said that he didn't want to come to us, wasn't it? It was Jokeres or whatever. Him who went to Arsenal. Yeah. It was him who said that United flirted with him all year. Then when he wanted to go, he says no, he wanted Champions League football, so he said I'm going to Arsenal, and then we ended up going for the other target that Arsenal were after.
Yeah, to be honest, I remember actually Arteta and I think Edu, who was like the sporting director, they had kind of been looking at Sesko for ages, and then they replaced the sporting director for Bertha out at Arsenal, and he wanted Gyökeres. So I think in the time we were looking at thinking, we got Ruben Amorim, he got the best out of Gyökeres, so we were looking at it. And in the end, I think we got fortunate that we got a player that's maybe slightly more effective.
Yeah, what's scary?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's scary about that is I think Sesko's got a higher ceiling now. I definitely do.
I think so. I think that Gyökeres is like, there's nothing wrong with him, but he's.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember my prediction? Like last year, I said I think he's going to get similar goals to Ollie Watkins. I think he did get pretty similar. He's kind of that level, I think.
Yeah, the thing is with Sesko, what I'm hoping is happening this year is that we've had a year now to get the forwards all understanding each other's wavelength, and next year he can have a real tilt at being within the 5 goals of Haaland. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's true. I'm going to read a couple of comments just to get your take on these. Daz says he's frustrated with not getting Anderson, Tchouameni or Tonali because I believe he thinks that's kind of the midfield that's going to win us the league. I think with that one,
who's going to get all those players? I mean, be realistic.
I think like one of them. I think maybe he's thinking like one of those targets. I think Tchouameni is just unachievable, and I do think that they're very good players. I'm just wondering whether. I think Man United, I'm hoping Man United fans will be pleasantly surprised by some of the signings, because for me it's about constructing a team. And is that whatever player we get? Do you remember when we were crying out for a CDM and we got Cristiano Ronaldo? And we were like, okay, I like Ronaldo, but like, can you imagine if if we were saying, right, who are we going to get in midfield, and they go, right, here's Diamonde, we'd be like, okay, hang on a minute.
This is how I've always thought it was going to go. They're going to go for one superstar, that would be Anderson, Tonioli, whatever. Someone who's a bit cheaper, who we've already got in Edison, and they're going to go for someone young who's Fernandes.
Yeah, I was thinking 3 people, and then at least one of them would be mid-20s, at least 2 of them would be from the Premier League, and I couldn't. So as soon as we got Edison, I was thinking, right, that's probably the player that's going to be the experienced player that's played in European football. I would have probably gone for a Premier League player with experience if I had the choice. But again, Fatal 5 Stars talking about last season. Yeah, Delap didn't want to know. Gyökeres didn't want to know. Victor Osimhen was very, very expensive salary-wise. And then, to be honest, actually, Ollie Watkins and Sesko, I think overall, I think Watkins had a solid season as well. I think Sesko's had a kind of similar season. I think Sesko is probably the better option because they might have been similar price.
No, I agree. I mean, there's nothing. I think every decision they made last season, after 10 years of the wilderness, it's felt like they nailed every single one of them.
We would have bought Delap though, wouldn't we? I think we would have got Delap and probably regretted it. So I think we got lucky with that one.
No, but that's one of them players where it's great because football's a game of opinions. I've never seen what all these other people seen in that guy. He was when I saw him play against us, he just run around and kicking people. He was like the Irish Hoyland, It
didn't cause loads of threat, did it? I remember at the time saying that when I did a stream about Delap, and I said my prediction was they want him because he's cheap and it's a quick deal. Yeah. So I thought they want to get him. What I thought was you get Delap in because he's £30 million and it's a known fee. It's not going to be a difficult deal. And I thought we were going to then buy a more experienced striker. And I thought Delap was going to be a backup, a bit like they got João Pedro at Chelsea. So I don't think Delap would have been like the number one striker. I was thinking maybe Victor Osimhen, maybe Gyökeres, and Delap would be the backup. So I thought we needed 2 strikers.
And the thing is with Victor Osimhen, and let's be honest now, he's always available, right? People could say whatever. He's at Galatasaray, so if you really want him, you can get him.
Yeah, true. Pulp76 says, generally bargains are had earlier on, and if we don't overpay a bit now, we risk overpaying quite a bit more for inferior players. That's true. You want to speak to Newcastle fans about overpaying for inferior targets, and maybe also speak to Chelsea fans, because I think they're experts at doing that recently. I mean, I was talking to Philip on the channel, I don't know if you saw a couple of days ago, and he was actually saying that this is coming from a Newcastle fan. He said, when I said, what do you think of MATEUS, Fernandes and Alex Scott as targets? And he said, I think Man United are actually getting it together. He said because a few years ago you don't do those sort of deals. You would go for Tonali and maybe over. In his view, he saw Tonali as being an overpay because he's got very high. And this is coming from a Newcastle fan. And he also said that he saw this is his scouting report. He said MATEUS Fernandes he sees like a young Bruno Guimaraes in terms of like, attributes. And I was like, and he honestly said, I think you've done like if you get these deals done, it's really good, and it's something that Man United. And he was saying, I think Man United are actually looking in the right places. So I was like, okay, that's quite good because Man United fans are a bit more negative, but I think rival fans looking a bit, more neutrally, thinking actually those are better players.
Yeah, and what I like what they're doing at the minute is they're looking at the blend for the team, and that's something we haven't done for such a long time. You're looking at the type of midfielders we need, and I haven't seen too much of this Edison, but I can see what they're thinking because the amount of ground he covers, even though he's not Premier League proven, but from his
He's never
European,
injured as well. Like,
yeah,
I know if there's any like Jules in the comments, if you want to post anything, Jules, because Jules really loves this guy. I keep saying I don't watch much of him. I don't know much about
yeah.
Edison, so I just default to other people. If you watch Serie A and you got views on him, then I can only go by why I think they might go for him. But he was saying that he was really good a couple of years ago when they had a good team. He's very mobile, physical, strong, should be good in the Premier League. So I was like, okay, this all sounds good, but there's always still in the back of my mind thinking, the Premier League's different to Serie A. So let's hope it steps up. But apparently, he's never injured, so he's not going to find it a physical struggle. So it's hopefully, and he's fast as well. So we'll have to see how he gets on. Mike is probably saying what I think as well. He said it doesn't really matter how low we go if all our targets are good. Do you remember when we had Frankie de Jong and the backup target was sign nobody? And I was
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly.
I don't like this strategy where we try and sign one player, and if we don't get him, we sign nobody. And then we went and got was it like
No, we really
Palestri?
suffered for that. It's
Did
strange.
we get like Palestri and Cavani on the last day of the season or something, or Amujalo? And I was thinking, what is going on? Like, where's the
Yeah,
CDM?
yeah, that rings. Yeah, we did get Pilestri and Ahmad at the same time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I can't remember the other one. You got a better memory, but I remember them two arriving at the same time because my brother saw saw Pilestri on some YouTube videos and was like, "This guy looks like he would be lost at Salford."
I don't even know what happened to him. I remember he played like
He went to Greece after us. There's not a lot of money, but you remember when we were really bad, and people were looking at him like he came on and he had like a couple of nice touches. Yeah, he should have a start. He should have a start. But whenever he played in the Premier League, he looked like a boy against men. He was lightweight. He had a good 5 yards, but then as soon as he opened his legs for a sprint, he just got swallowed up by the Premier League fullbacks. And
now I can remember exactly that he came off the bench, and because Man United just are offering nothing, people were like, "Yeah, he should be playing more games." And my reaction was, I don't know. When people complain about the subs, and I look at the bench and go, "That's because they're worse players." Like Ollie wasn't making substitutes because the players on the side of the pitch were just like useless in comparison.
For what I'd say about Pelistri now, I dare say that Shea Lacey's better than he is, and Shea Lacey don't get a game.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. So why is this? Why are left wingers right wingers? Says Stephanie. I don't know. I played on the left. I didn't complain too much. Is that apart from like midfield? Well, I'm going to get Belal in, but is your connection okay, Belal? Just let me know because you're kind of disappearing from backstage before I get you on. But let me know if your connections are good. Anything you want to say then, JR? Then we will do. I'll do a call and show on Sunday if you're around, like 7 p.m.
No,
come on.
my message is just stay calm, please. don't buy into this deal isn't happening. This deal is happening. Or just don't go either way. Just they'll announce it on Steam and just follow the people that actually matter. Don't follow the noise. Don't listen to the noise. Just the people that matter. Follow them. No one else, because everyone else is just trying to get a rise out of us, and that's all they do.
Yeah. Just come and like tune in to this channel like on a daily basis, and I'll just like I'm not going to tell you this is true if it's not true. We'll just talk about it together because I saw something this morning that actually midday it made me laugh, and it was the elections in Madrid. And I don't know, it's like Perez is one of them. There's another guy trying to get elected, and they've said they're going to spend 150 million. And they got Holland, they got Elise, and I saw Paris Saint-Germain posting out a statement, or this was on Twitter, saying that who's it like Vitinha's not for sale for 150. There's no way that Neves going for. And I just thought there's just all this crazy noise, and I was just thinking,
they'll say anything as well to get in at Real Madrid. They'll we'll reincarnate Ronaldo. They just say anything to get the votes in, and it's and people have just got to tune it out. Chances are they'll get in, and then they'll do what they always do: try and get, especially for the last 5 years, try to bully everybody to letting their players go on a free and sign them that way.
Yeah, it's a tried and tested transfer strategy, isn't it?
It's for Real Madrid for the last.
Yeah, thanks, JR. I've got one last question for you. Go left back or left wing? What's more important for you?
Left back.
Would you go for Lewis Hall for like 65 plus?
No, I'd go for Lewis Hall, but I'd be playing negotiations with Newcastle because the most expensive left back ever is 60, and he's not better than that. So, he's a good player, but 65 plus.
It's quite a lot, isn't it? I think, to be honest, actually, I think we could get a deal if we go for him quickly, like before Livramento goes.
Yeah, but you don't mind spending 65 plus on a left winger, but a left back, behave.
Yeah, no, you need to be properly rich now, Daz. We can't even afford to even look at the games at the moment, let alone go and watch them. and no, the local people I know in the USA, there's no chance of them affording tickets a lot of time. But big up to you, JR. Thank you for supporting the channel. 7 p.m. Sunday, if you're around, I'll do a maybe slightly longer calling show then.
I'll try my best. All right.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Now we're going to get Belal on. How you doing, Belal?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I thought you were not going to turn up after asking for a calling show, and I was like, "Where's Belal?" And no, so how are you feeling about everything?
I'm good. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that we've got one signing done so far. Yeah, I just hope we get Fernandes over the line now.
Yeah, I can't obviously I can't make any promises, but I think it's looking pretty good. I think so far.
It is, yeah. Good sign so far.
What's your next priority then? So just saying, like in a perfect world, we have maybe we do a calling show on Sunday and we've got Fernandes. So what do you reckon then? Because I think Man United might try and get Lewis Hall. I think there's something in that.
I think so. I'm not sure. But he's not gone to the World Cup, so we got a chance to get the deal done quick. But I think Fernandes will be next myself. I think we'll get him done next week.
Yeah, Pope says focused on a left back because I think Dorgu's like a left. For me, Dorgu's probably a left winger anyway. That's where he's mostly played for United. But if you're looking at
he's a left winger, yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking at Hall, I think Hall would be a good signing. Also, we still got Luke Shaw for a bit in terms of that one. So we have two left backs. I think would be we need to. Well, whatever happens, we need to get a left back because Luke Shaw cannot play. He's not going to play every single Premier League game, let alone all European games.
He can't play 2 games a week. He'll get injured if that's the case.
It might even be like sort of 3 games in 8 days or something. So we're going to have to rotate quite a lot.
There's a lot more games these days. Yeah, you have to rotate. Yeah, left back should be a priority. But I'd like us to get midfield sorted first.
Yeah. So Daz says he'd like us to get a world-class midfielder. Like if we got Fernandes, that's 2 in. Like we're probably looking at 1 more. Are you thinking Man United go big? So this is difficult, isn't it? Because he's 21 years old. Like he's not got in the Portuguese squad, has he? So I think it's too. It's like saying like Tchouameni. I think Tchouameni's got a really bright future, but to say world class, I think you've got to be consistently excelling at the Champions League or international. Maybe after the World Cup, we might be redefining a few players as world-class players, but I think it's a bit too early to say it with some of the players we're talking about.
Who does want? You should get in a comment.
Yeah, let us know who you'd like, Daz. I think when people talk about world-class midfielders, if they're available, I think Tchouameni is probably one player that people would go, right, he would be like a game-changing signing because he's a big name. He's been a top
I
player
don't think
for
we're
Real
signing
Madrid.
him.
No, I don't think so either. I'm thinking, but then
Yeah.
who'd you go for? Who would you go for your third signing if you could choose anyone? They've got to be at least somewhat available. He's gone for
I think
Anderson.
I'd take Tonali.
Do you think Anderson would join Man United? That's probably the difficult
It doesn't
one.
look very likely, but yeah, I know what he means. We all want him, but I think he's going to City.
I've said for about 18 months that Anderson's was my top target, but even now, I'm just thinking that if I had a conversation with Anderson and said, "Look, I'm not coming to Man United," then you got to move on to the next one. I would probably say that maybe Tonali is considered like the next one because I don't think Tonali is necessarily a much better player than, say, Fernandes potentially over the next few years, but he has got more experience and knows captain in Italy as well. So you look at that as a Champions League experience. So I think it would be, but I think he just seems too expensive. Like Newcastle are not going to be letting us get a cheap
Yeah.
deal. I spoke to, do you watch the stream with Philip and from Toon Tactics?
Yeah.
And he was saying that
Oh yeah,
that they're not going to lower the price because they don't really want to sell these players. They got good money for Gordon. They don't want to sell Lewis Hall, really. They want to sell Livramento and they want to sell Willock. And they don't really want to sell Tonali. They don't really want to sell Hall. So they're only going to sell them if they get very good prices.
well, we're gonna have to spend big money to buy good players, though.
Mickey says everyone's available for the right price. And he said the problem is Man United's prices from like 1999. Do you think this? I do think it applies to like if Man United wanted to buy any player from Forest, like any player in there is a price for the club. I suppose with this one is that Bruno Fernandes said no to the Saudi league, so for some players though they might say no. I think with Lewis Hall, he's not going to say no. Tonali's not going to say no. I'd imagine if Man City say they're not going to buy him, then we could. I'm sure we could get him, but we'd have to go quite big, and we'd have to go quite big salary wise as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, as I said, I think you just need to spend the money if you want to improve.
Yeah, George's list of world-class midfielders. He's got De Jong, Pedri, Vitinha. You got João Neves. We wanted Neves a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think I agree with
Rodri.
all those players. Yeah, they are world class.
Would you put I say Valverde's got to be in there for me.
Yeah, Valverde's world class too.
Do you put Tchouameni? Tchouameni must be up there in terms of like. Must be close.
Camavinga, yeah.
I'm just thinking they're not available. That's all I'm saying.
They're not available. No, they're not. But they're world class. Yeah.
Do you think Anderson's world class? I think it's a bit early to say.
Close, somewhere close to world class. I wouldn't call him world class, but he's up there, thereabouts.
Yeah, I'd say if he moves to a team and then starts excelling in the Champions League, I think we can have that conversation. I think it's difficult to say at the moment. But
yeah.
I'll say with Pulp, I just want Rashford's contract kind of like changed into like a contract for a new player coming in. So to be honest, if he went to Bayern Munich, I don't mind.
Yeah, I think he's leaving. He's definitely leaving. He's not going to come back. Not after that interview he gave to Henry Winter. He said he wanted a new challenge, so I just don't see him coming back.
His challenge now is finding a club that wants him. That's a different challenge, isn't it? It's so difficult for him.
I think you should look at Serie A. I think that's a league he would thrive in.
Yeah, I'd put Anderson into very promising, very good player. I think world class has got to be someone that walks into every team, and it's going to be a massive game changer.
It's way
But
too early to call him world class.
I know. I remember having this debate with like people about Cantona whether he was world class. I think he was pretty close.
Definitely, what do you mean? Henderson was on the cover of FIFA 16.
Who?
Henderson, Jordan Henderson.
Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, yeah. She put Jordan Henderson is definitely not world class.
No one mentioned him. No one mentioned him. He's been a solid player for them, but
Yeah,
no.
I'm joking.
I don't remember people going. We definitely need to break the bank to get Jordan Henderson.
No,
Looks like Greenwood might be going to
it was a joke.
Fenerbahce, which says Jay. I think with this deal, I was hoping that Greenwood would go to a higher profile club that might pay a bigger contract because like a bigger
That's a bit of
transfer
a
fee.
surprise. Fenerbahce, I thought it'd be someone like Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. I thought he'd end up
To
somewhere
be
like
honest,
that.
that would be. Do you remember when there was like relentless stories linking Victor Osimhen to Chelsea and he ended up at Galatasaray, and then he stayed at
Oh yeah,
Galatasaray. So
there were strong links apparently. I thought like it was a deadline day and they were like saying he's gonna join them, but he didn't.
any reports with FIFA Greenwood?
I don't.
No, to be
I've not
honest,
seen
I would not
anything.
be that excited about him going to Fenerbahce because I don't think Fenerbahce can afford to pay a fortune. I want him to go to like PSG or something where they're going to pay big money.
We're not gonna get a lot if he goes to Fenerbahce.
No, that would be disappointing actually because we've got 50 to 60% of anything over 25 million. So if Greenwood goes for big money, we get loads. If he goes for like
I
a
hope he goes
crap
to
fee like
Saudi.
that,
We need some Saudi money.
yeah, I was hoping that there'd be something like that. Do you remember is it Don Duran that went from Villa to the Saudi Pro League for I think it's like a pretty big transfer fee, but and he hadn't been playing very long. I was hoping Greenwood would go there for like 70, 80 million pounds. But realistically though, he should be like 60 or so. And I was thinking, we should get decent money in.
We should at least 60, yeah. 8 million is not enough. It's pocket change.
Anything you want to talk about, Bilal? I'm gonna have to wrap up in about 5 minutes. I was trying to make it a shorter stream tonight.
No, not really. I think we've covered everything.
How did you feel when we signed Edison? Like, were you just a bit indifferent, or like, do you have
I'm
what
still
expectations?
gonna keep my cards close. I hope he's a squad rotation player. I really hope so. If he's a first team player, I wouldn't be happy with this deal. But if it's a squad rotation player, he's an upgrade on Ugarte.
Do you remember? Were you in the stream? I did one really late at night, midweek, because it was Here We Go, and I was like, I just finished the stream actually. I think G Wolf started
I
streaming.
watched
We
it
finished our
afterwards.
stream,
Yeah, I was
and
asleep
then
at that time. I watched it afterwards.
no, because I saw the news broke, and I was like doing a food shop online. So I was like, right, that's priority because I need to get that done. I need like food's more important than Here We Go for Edison. And then I was like, right, I'll do a quick stream for Edison. And loads of people are asking this question that Pop76 has got, like saying strikers who we got. So this is kind of the last question, right? Last question. Manchester United, like we've got Sesko. He's not going to start every single game. What's your go-to option for that? I'll say that there's a few on the table. Some people are talking about, cheap options, loan deals, or spending decent money. Like, what's your go-to option for that one?
I think we should try a loan with someone. I don't know who's willing to come on loan. Do we have any players listed for loan or anything at their clubs?
Lewandowski's one,
Decent.
but he's like 50 years old.
Lewandowski. I wouldn't want Lewandowski. He's too old, I think.
I was actually a bit 50-50, and someone somewhere was saying that they thought he wasn't particularly mobile. And my thoughts were that if Lewandowski comes to Man United, just hypothetically, he has to start a decent amount of games. Otherwise, there's no point. Like Sesko needs to have some games where not playing at all. And I was
we
thinking, there's
can't
no point in
sign.
having.
We can't sign anyone like Lewandowski to be backup
You
to
see my point,
Sesko. They
though.
won't.
My
They won't
my
accept
point was
that.
that my point was that it's not enough for a striker to come on for 20 minutes a game. He needs to play full matches, because sometimes we won't have Benjamin Sesko available.
Because I think Sesko is the first choice striker, that he should be kept as a first choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like backup though, because sometimes he won't play.
We should get a loan deal for a backup, or someone to just share the load with him.
Yeah, who do you want then? Like, do you have a favourite or?
Myself, I don't really know who's available out there.
Just a quick question then, for 2 minutes. Anyone in the chat list any sort of striker you think you'd go for? I have seen Mateta talked about, and
we can't rely on Chino. He's still not ready.
That says Lewandowski.
Mateta, I'd like Mateta.
JR says upset Mr. B and get the forward from Brentford for the second year in a row.
Thiago.
Oh, that's the expensive one, isn't it?
Good. That's
Thiago's good. Thiago Creepy Jr. would be the most expensive one, possibly, if you believe the numbers put out there. That would be a very expensive one.
Yeah.
Tony on loan, says Stephanie.
Would he come back on loan? I don't know if he would. I think Tony would like to be first choice wherever he goes.
I don't mind Tony, actually. I think he's all right. You got Ramos on loan as well that you can look at. I think we should look into the loan market.
Yeah, we should.
Lewandowski, say good option, says Pulp. If he's up for it, he'd take him. I think Zlatan was a bit more mobile. That's all I'm thinking. Like, Zlatan was actually pretty good when we got him. Vlahovic, I think he's got some issues. Vlahovic, he want a big salary as well. It's tricky, isn't it? There's options that are I don't know, okay, but then they're all quite short-term options, aren't they? I would actually say, for me, out of all the people listed, I think Tony's actually quite a good shout, because I think Tony he was pretty effective in the Premier League before he left, and I think he's still. I don't know how old he is. I think he would be okay.
But I just don't think he want to be interchanging with Sesko. I think he'd want to be first choice.
Yeah, Zlatan was a really good signing in the end. I was always a bit skeptical because I remember Zlatan when he started out, and every time he was in the Champions League, he didn't have great games. And then, you watch a game, and the commentators are saying, "Watch out for Zlatan." This is going back decades though, and he had a poor game, and I was like, "He's not that great." But his goal scoring record has been phenomenal wherever he went, and he was also able to jump into the Premier League at mid-30s and still be really good. So he's a bit of a legendary player in that respect.
Yeah, I loved Ibra. He had a great partnership with Pogba.
I quite like. Welbeck's had a really good season. I got it wrong a bit with. I remember like a year ago, I said don't get Dominic Calvert-Lewin. His record had been poor. His injury record had been bad. He had a really good season. So I think it is worth going for like a loan deal. Like when was the last time we did a sensible loan deal? So, and we could try and do that as well.
Larson, that was a sensible loan deal.
Yeah, that was a good one actually. No, hopefully we can do that. Hopefully, for me, it would be like even like we got what's the bits at Amrabat. Like we just don't seem to have done it recently, do we? So
I'd say Falcao was a terrible loan deal. Just didn't work out. Especially he was also injured.
Mickey says not paying 300k. So the rumor was, I don't quote me on this, but the rumor was that Lewandowski would be looking at 175. So again, I don't know if that's true, but it's probably has it been linked to Fenerbahce as well? I'm sure I saw something like that.
He might go to Saudi as well.
Yeah,
You can afford it.
everyone assumes that players that retire go to Saudi, don't they? Maybe it's the USA. Maybe he can go to the USA. Maybe there's a team that wants him there. So when has there been good forwards been available for loan? And JR saying the only answer is Henrik
Yeah.
Larsson.
Yeah, that was the
Do
only
you like
time I can
Ramos?
remember.
Yeah,
Ramos,
Henrik Larsson was just really good. I liked him a lot.
yeah, Ramos would be all right. I'll be all right with Ramos. I think he would accept interchanging with Sesko as well. He wouldn't mind sitting games out.
It could be all right, actually, couldn't it? I don't mind that one. I think with for me, the aim is going to be that if you get a backup striker, okay, they are going to be backup for most of the time, but you have to also look at say we got 2 games a week, or we got 3 games in like 8-9 days. There might be games where you need that striker to be your first team striker anyway. So I was thinking that if you're going to get someone that you think is just going to be like a 20-minute bench option, then for me you'd have to like say no to that player. But I don't know if Lewandowski could start games and be effective. Like maybe have to start like 15 games then and play a load of others. Igalo's
How
available
many goals
again.
has he scored this season? Lewandowski, how many goals has he got?
Lewandowski must have got about 18, 19 goals in the like all competitions. So I think he'd
You're not
reduce
hardly
that
in the
in
Premier
the
League. Yeah.
the Premier League's more difficult for sure.
No,
What
I
do I
wouldn't
think of the
take him then.
Rafael links? So I'll just answer this question, then Belal answer it. Then we'll probably have to wrap up. But I'm not very enthusiastic about Rafael Leao. He strikes me as a player that you should have got 3 years ago. I don't think he's like. There's been a combination of like not great form, a bit of a drop off. I know not been played in the same position for like recently, but he's been when you look at the information out there, it just feels a little bit like this is the sort of player that we'd be looking to move on if he was at our club, because it's his form was better a few years ago. He was getting booed off by his fans. I was just thinking, this is like a problem player for Milan. I mean, I think he's got skill and he's obviously got some ability, but I don't think it's the right player for Man United. He might be. I'm just going to check his age. Is he like 20? Is he like 27 or something? So, what do you think then regarding Rafael Leao?
I just think he's very similar to Marcus Rashford. And we're looking to sell Rashford. So, yeah, I don't think I'd want him at United.
Because looking at him, that in terms of like what it's been, so it looks like say you go back 4 years, 22, 23. I remember watching him about 4 years ago, and it was the Milan derby. He might have scored like one of the winning goals, and I think since then, like the numbers in terms of goals, I obviously I don't watch Serie A, so I can't comment on the individual performances. But it looks like if you went back to when he was like a 21, 22-year-old, he just hasn't really improved. And if anything, he's got a bit worse and his record's not been as good. And the team itself's actually improved a bit. So I think you probably look at a goal scoring record that is somewhat similar to like Rashford's overall, but it's on the downward a bit, but also I think he'll find it more difficult in the Premier League. So I would probably say no. That's my point. But I'm not going to say he's a terrible player. I can see why they might be looking at him, but I don't think he would be the. Yeah, he's very vocal about coming to the Prem. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is like very vocal, and he probably wants to this Man United pay packet, doesn't he? He's heard from Rashford, so no, I think
Yeah.
United should not go for him. To be honest, that's
No.
my thoughts.
You should move on from players like Leao.
Big up to you, Rob. Good to see you. We are about to wrap up,
Hi, Rob.
so if you want to say any final points, I just had to be a bit earlier tonight because I remember it was like a couple of days ago, wasn't it, Bilal? I just say we'll do a call and show, but we'll have to start early because it's Friday night.
You did. Yeah.
Friday night is the one night where I try not to moan about football stuff till late hours. So
Yeah,
can
you
Leao
should.
do it in a cold night at Ipswich? So I don't think so,
No.
JR, because I don't think he wants to. It's the answer for me.
You couldn't do it in a rainy night in Manchester, let alone down south.
I'm not sure he can do it in the San Siro, from what I've heard. Big up to you, Doug. Oh, good to see you, Doug. Nice new logo as well. Doug, if people don't know Doug's channel, Doug has come back to YouTube after a bit of a break as well. And he's a channel definitely worth checking out. He says Rafael Leao is so overrated. Doug's not a Man United fan either, so impartial view on Leao. Yeah, Rafael Leao is like a player that if you got in your time machine and went back to 2020, you could get Rafael Leao, you could get Vlahovic, you could get Jadon Sancho. They were all good players 5 years ago, but they've all not worked out too well. So, no, for me, it's a solid no. He's got Saudi League written all over him. But let's hope he's not a Man United player in the near future. Otherwise, I'm going to have to backtrack and
No, we're
say
not going to
I'll
sign
take a
him.
different stance then.
We're not going to sign him.
No, if we did sign him though, I would be open-minded, but I have to say I wouldn't be that
I
at this
wouldn't.
moment in time. I would not. I would not. But
I
I'll
would be
say,
very
to be honest,
annoyed.
I think all callers are good to chat to. So the main thing is people call in, and everyone's got a different point of view. So it's no, absolutely good to get every caller on. But cheers,
No,
Belal.
that's
For people that want to get involved, there will be a calling show 7 p.m. Sunday. I can't. I'm pretty sure it could be 7 p.m. But if anything happens, it will still happen, but it might be slightly later. But we're probably looking at limiting the time, so it won't be like do you remember last Sunday? It was like a 4-hour stream, so it's going to be
yeah, it was.
certainly less than that one, a lot less. So get an early, Belal, and or JR or other people. We'll get you all
I'll
on,
try my
but
best.
we just won't be able to talk for like hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
It accidentally happened, Stephanie. It was just as a descriptive term, though. He's not coming back. Don't worry. Cheers, Belal. Cheers. Also,
Thanks,
JR,
Rich.
Neil. Who else came on? Jeff was like some good updates as well. I'm trying to think. Yeah, hopefully, maybe on Sunday we can talk about Fernandes being sold and being bought. Actually, I think
Yeah,
anyone
I
else
don't
that
think we're
came
going to
on,
sign
I've
him by this
forgotten.
weekend.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Because with Man United, it's like I did say to people, before Edison signed, I said I think it's going to happen quite soon, and I did say about 2 days ago, I think Fernandes, it could actually happen quite soon. You never know. You never know, as well. But cheers, legends, and we'll be back live in. Also, I'll be live tomorrow, but the calling show will be back on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. till probably 8 to 9ish, somewhere like that. But thanks for getting involved, and everybody's welcome on each show. We do a calling show as well. I'll try and do a couple a week, get people on. But then, guys, enjoy your weekend and forget about Man United transfers. Fernandes will be like, here we go, before you know it, and we can talk about transfer number 2. And saying, guys, have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you tomorrow morning.